What's up, man?
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Alright, I just woke up from a nap.
How's this week been for you
Um,
then?
I don't know, man. I feel very outside of the 3D world. Like I don't feel like I fit in on anything.
Yeah, yeah. I feel really like heavy, like I can't get a breath. Like I'm walking around, all of a sudden I'm going, I can't breathe. I can't breathe properly. And like this, I was watching something before, and you feel dead. I'm shaking. I'm like, oh God, I'm shaking. What's going on here?
You have shaky muscles?
Yeah,
Like do you have shaky legs?
yeah.
Like if you
All
like
over.
like if you stand on one foot, it almost feels like you're weak.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm constantly vibrating.
Feels like the feeling of if you haven't had enough sugar or if like you haven't eaten.
Yeah,
But I'll eat and it doesn't really change anything.
yeah, yeah. I'm really, really hungry all the time, but it doesn't seem to satisfy the hunger.
I think that's
Does that make sense?
the solar plexus.
Yeah, yeah. It's been bizarre, absolutely bizarre. I feel like it's test time, and this is the test. Everything that could go wrong has went wrong, and I'm still smiling. I'm still smiling at it. You know what I mean? This is the test.
Dude,
This is the test. It's like everything that happened at work today, and I was walking home. I was getting splashed by buses. I was late for the train. All these things are happening. It's not beating this. It's just a test. It's just a game, and I'm smiling at it. And I'm going to continue to smile at it. I'll try to. I do. I'm not perfect, and I still get carried away a little bit. But then I go. Something in my head goes, "Oh wait, it's just a test. It's just. You have to be placed in poop to grow out of it." If you know what I mean.
the way I saw it was like you say a test, but not like a meme test, but like basically it's like you're presented with these situations to be able to gauge your own level of presence
Yes.
and see how well you can handle it. Like if you just go into like a rage or go into a fit, then you're probably
Yeah.
that's something that you still need to work on or whatever.
Yeah. I need to work on that times.
But
I still have it.
for me, this whole year has been like a wild test. Like, I started Nobody's Tribe and I left my job and did everything, and then I went like completely broke. And then I had to move out of my house, move into my brother's house. I lived in a tent in his backyard.
Right.
And so I'm living in a tent in my brother's backyard with my fiance. And then we find out she's pregnant.
Right.
Yeah, she's pregnant. So then
Is this a 2-man tent or a 3-man tent?
it's a two-man tent.
Right.
Oh,
We needed to get bigger.
shut up. So then we have to move to my parents' house. And then I'm at my parents' house, and then my mom gets diagnosed with cancer, and my brother he's like all kind of just on drugs and stuff now, and so like I feel like I'm in a parallel universe, like
Yeah.
everything just seems fake, like it doesn't seem real.
Yeah. It's not so well. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. It seems surreal. I mean, there's times when I'm going through thought processes, and all of a sudden I just go, "What am I doing? What's going on here?" As if like my thought process is in the middle of it, and I just go, it just lost, as if like somebody removed a program out of it. I went, well, hold on, what am I doing? What's going on?
Oh, it's like a brain fart. Have you heard that term? It's where
Oh,
it's where you have this huge flow of information, and then like you stop for a second, and then you forget that there was even a flow of information or thoughts, and it just all stops, and you don't know what you were talking about, and you
Yeah.
don't, and then you're just kind of like silent, like okay,
yeah.
yeah, that
And
keeps.
you just blankly look at somebody who you were talking to. Sorry, I don't know what I'm on about.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, but it's been what's it called? I'm just checking some of the things I've wrote down. I've wanted to sleep really loads. I just feel like I just want to sleep. I feel quite heavy.
Yeah, I was just
Constantly.
napping. Here, say hi to my love.
What?
Say hi, baby.
Oh. Hi.
Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
How's the baby?
Good.
How's the baby?
He-
Doing
Excellent.
good.
Looking very well and healthy.
yeah, the baby's kicking.
A little bit, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, but what's it called? I've noticed quite a few things. Have you got any more different animals in your, like insects and animals that you used to not have in your area over the last few years?
I've noticed it's almost as if I'm able to pick out an animal in my environment quicker. As if I'm not seeing them with my eyes, I'm picking them out like off their energy. Like I'll get in my car and all of a sudden I'll see a dragonfly like way up in the air, and I'll just pick it out and I'll instantly see it. And then when I first had my my activation and I had all the energies coming in, I noticed that animals treated me differently. Like there was these geese or these ducks or no, it was geese. These geese at this lake. They would always chase me every time I get over there. They'd get like all territorial. And after my awakening, it was like it was as if I walked by them. It was as if they didn't know I existed. I just walked right by them, really close to them, and they didn't move. And I was listening to a channeling, and they call it like symptoms of Christ consciousness. Was that animals no longer are threatened by you, and they can feel your energy.
Because you'll be on the same vibration, won't you?
I was even able to like pick up. I was picking up on like their collective like thought forms or like their collective energy of how they were like feeling. It was weird.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of gardening in my work, and there's times that like butterflies or birds will just come near, and obviously I'll just sit down next to them, and they don't fly away. They'll just sit there, and they'll just like obviously we'll just kind of observe each other for about 5-10 minutes, and then obviously you have to get back to work, and then they move on. But it's not like they don't, as if the animals don't feel threatened, or as if like you pose a threat to them anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's more like they're like, well, who are you? And like you're observing each other, and you have this like mutual respect sort of thing, and you're on the same level.
I have a feeling in the near future it'll be like that with like predatory animals. The predatory animals will just be able to like walk up to you and they won't bother us.
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of things with the animals recently. The animals seem to be getting it quicker than we are, because there's a lot of interspecies love going on between the animals at the moment.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's going on really well. What's it called? Are you seeing much things? I'm catching a lot of things out the corner of my eye, like quick things moving out the corner of my eye, and I keep wondering, well, what's that over there? Or maybe flashes or.
Yeah, I remember I noticed the other day when I looked down, it looked as if there was like light flashing like on my arm, and then I would like look back, and then I had looked over. My sister was looking at me, and I was doing this. I was like looking back and forth. She was like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, or like at nighttime, it's kind of like it feels like kind of like cannabis or something, where it's just like almost like a psychedelic feel to everything.
Yeah. Do you know who Matthew Silver is?
Matthew Silver?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I think he's like a performance artist in New York. He just wears in his duds and he's got a beard and long hair. I don't know if you've seen him on YouTube.
I don't think so.
Well, he's quite inspirational. If you look him up after this, he comes out with some crazy things, but his information's spot on. But I've been having weird dreams with him in this, but like with him in my dreams. But in my dreams, I'm much more conscious now. I'm more aware that I'm in my dream, rather than before it was like the dream was happening to us. Now it's like hold on, I can play a little bit here, and I like it's more interactive rather than it's happening to you, if you know what I mean.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's getting there. It seems to be different for everyone. I think everyone's built in different ways. You have like, you're a different computer to what I am, so I'll be experiencing slightly different symptoms to what you are, and I don't think no one will be the same. Because if someone's going through this and they don't know what's going on, I would be like, I want to reassure them that everything's okay, that there's not just them by themselves going through it, because to go through this not knowing what's going on, not knowing that you're getting hit by this energy that's bringing up all this old paradigms to be like fixed and to be all these old belief systems that you don't need anymore, then it would be quite scary to go through.
Yeah, what what I've noticed is for somebody that is in a 3D paradigm that has no idea about any of this, what
Yeah,
they do is they will take these energies and they'll use it as a means to self sabotage, blaming
yeah,
themselves, blaming their choices, or blaming the
yeah,
people in their lives, or blaming their
yeah,
circumstances, and they will start picking out reasons for all of this coming up when really it's coming up for them to like grow and to scrutinize and to expand as a person, but they're not ready or they're not willing to expand, so then they start accusing people of bringing up this within them.
yeah, yeah.
When
I'm noticing it all around my family. There's people within my family going through this, and I'm trying to explain it to them, but they're still kind of head down. I'm doing it this way, and this is how I'm going to do it. And to me, it's not the time for that. It's time for head up. There's many different paths to the same destiny. You don't have to go down one path all the time. You can access many paths, try many different ways to get to this same place. Like you said about the trains leaving the station, the reason you'll get on one train is by how you act, not how you think. It's how you go, how you do, and now about your daily life, how you change and adapt and move up into a higher way of being. Instead of, you were down here and this is what you did, but it's now time to move out of that.
Yes, exactly. For me though, I feel like it's difficult. It's difficult for me to help or to guide people with this information, the ones that are closest to me, because from their
Yeah,
perspective, they see me having all these ascension symptoms. They see me being overly sensitive. I don't have a
yeah,
job, so they don't see me as somebody to look up to get advice
yeah,
from.
yeah. I mean, mine's quite hard because obviously I've got two kids. I've got one on the way. I've got three kids. I've got one on the way. I've got obviously a house to run. I'm still doing my gardening job. I'm still doing bits of Reiki, to do this and that. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Just sit in the house and not go to work and not do it? Because at the end of the day, I can't kind of stop because then my family wouldn't run. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's get on with it. It's hard and it's testing, but hopefully that me showing this resistance and just keep going, smile, keep going, smile, keep going, get splashed by a bus, smile, keep going, and just having that attitude of just always just to never stop and know that it's for your growth. It's not the universe picking on you. It's nobody trying to get at you. This is for your growth. This is to benefit you. If anything, it's like a teacher teaching you a lesson and being a bit harsh, but for your own good.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
You know what I mean?
The way that was Treb that was channeled said it was that the first I think it was like the first half of the year was gonna be like the uncle that like dips you into the pool, dips your feet into the pool, gets you used to it, and
Yeah,
then the third quarter of the year was gonna be the uncle that throws you in.
yeah. That's just about it. Yeah,
So yeah, we're being
it's
thrown in.
it's intense. It is intense.
Yes,
Well,
it's
what you call
intense. I'm in a tent. Intense. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, what you call it? I mean, like I said before, it must be so hard to go through and not know, like, kind of have these reference points within your, I don't know, within your knowledge to kind of go, oh, well, this is what's happening. To know that you're being hit by a wave of energy that's kind of going to go and bring these certain things up. To go through it blind is scary. And I feel for people who are doing this. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like
Is
it's
I
unconditional love.
something I find very very interesting about the human condition is I find a lot of humans are desperately miserable, angry, anxious, constantly in a state of frustration or anxiety,
Yeah,
but deeply fearful of death. So it's like you have people that live in you have people that live in like a constant negativity, but then they don't want to fix it, and then they're also
yeah,
afraid to die. So their whole entire life is just constant fear.
yeah, yeah. it's like self harming without even realizing it. You sabotage, like you said before, you're sabotaging yourself. And I've got somebody very close to me, like as in a parent, that's doing this to themselves. And I'm watching them. This negativity, it's just constant. They're watching the telly and they're reading these things, and it's like I call it negative buckaroo, because buckaroo is this like horse thing that jumps up when you put too much on it. And it keeps on putting it on, and you keep putting it on, and then all of a sudden it's a kick off, and it's back down again, and keep putting it on, and keep putting it on. I'm like, at what point are you going to break this cycle of self-harming and self-sabotaging yourself? Because you can choose to leave that by stop doing them things. Everything you're doing is a choice. It's up to free will. So if you do not like the station you're watching, change it. If you're in a bad place, find all the songs that make you happy, and when you get in that bad place, listen to them songs. Because the only thing that makes your whole brain function is music. And all your chakras line up with the 7 keys on the piano. So we are musical beings. So as soon as you're feeling bad, change the station, put some good music on, and go again. And to me, that's my buffer. I can go back, I can depend on that to then pick me up, because I have emotional attachments to certain songs that make me feel good. So if I go down, listen to the songs, and I go back up. So it's up, down, up, down. You're doing this at times, but I don't go as far down as I used to, because obviously you have these measurements in place to help yourself, because you've recognized your actions and what you're doing.
Yep. It's a wild journey, man.
Yeah, and I don't think it's. I'm not sure it's going to end soon. Like, I think it feels like we're shedding an old skin, like a snake. You're shedding it off. You shed that off and shed that off, and you're just going to keep vibrating higher, higher, higher.
What have you been eating?
I mean, I had my Reiki attunement, so I've ditched the meat. I have no meat now. I keep on have these really funny conversations with people about meat. Say, do you like chicken? They say, yeah, we eat chicken, yeah. Says, what we should do is, we'll get a chicken, we'll name it for 3 weeks, we'll name it, you can look after it for 3 weeks, and then you can kill it and eat it. And they won't do it. Says, isn't that strange? You'll eat chicken, but you won't kill it. And they don't seem to make that connection. You know what I mean? If you put them people in that position of killing the chicken, they'll not do it, but they're okay to eat the meat.
I remember growing up thinking, if I was in a survival situation, like, I would probably die before I killed an animal. Maybe not, but I'm just saying, I'd probably end up doing it. But I mean, like, as being younger, I just felt so, like, there's no way that I could, like, cut open an animal and just, like the blood and everything.
Yeah.
Like, too much.
Yeah. I mean, what you call it? I mean, when you look at animals, do animals not have emotional intelligence? When they look at you, can you not see that, like, they're there in your eye? You know, when you look at a human, or if you look at an animal, you look in their eyes, can you not see something behind that? That there's feelings there, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think when you put someone in a position to have to do that, they'll not do it. So basically, we've lost the connection to our food. Because we just go, it's like, what you call it? I was talking to a lady today, and she said that her child didn't realise that it was chicken dippers. I mean, it's a real basic thing, but they're not making the connection between, you know, what's happening and what they're eating. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to eat a lot of raw food, fruit, veg. My family's having, like, vegetable spag balls, vegetable curries. And you feel a lot better. The kids are a lot sharper, they're a lot happier, they're a lot balanced. It's just calming down and coming down to a nice balanced state. I don't know about what's your diet like?
I'm not eating meat, but I eat eggs.
Yeah.
But
does that count as animal product? Like,
yeah.
Is that vegetarian? You know what I mean?
It's not vegetarian.
It's not. Right.
I think it's
there's a lot of things that.
It's not vegetarian.
Right.
But
had that conversation.
Some people say, like, the only way to go is vegan, and honestly, that's I don't even know what I would eat.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
I find it hard at the start.
I don't know. I feel like there's been times where it's just like my hunger is in such a panic of like I need to eat now, and I've already had my veggies for the day and like nuts and seeds or whatever, and I know I need something that's denser, and I know that's what my body's craving, so I follow what my body's craving. And people are like, oh well, you could avoid that by doing this and this and this. It's like, well, I don't have that at the time, so I'm not gonna just run around my life like miserable trying to be vegan. Eventually, I think our bodies will naturally adapt to that type of eating, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, yeah. I actually went to a seminar, or a seminar on what it used to be like when we used to just eat fruit. And there was a symbiotic relationship between us and the fruit where we actually kind of merged. And then obviously that was a high way of being at the time, because the fruit is the sex organs of the plant, and when we used to eat them, that was how we used to balance our testosterone. So we didn't used to be angry. It was by Tony Wright. A guy called Tony Wright, if you look it up. He's done loads of research on himself, sleep depravity and these sort of things. But if you notice, it's the fruit. If you're eating fruit and veg and things with life force in it, then that's when you start to cleanse, that's when you start to raise up, and you start to, I don't know, it's just a clean cut, crisp vibe.
Yeah, I think like homegrown veggies and fruits is like the way to go.
Yeah, getting there is hard though.
I wish I knew how to like grow food. Like I don't know. Right now we're about to go to, like where we're at. We're about to go into winter. Aren't you going in spring over there?
No, winter. We're going into winter.
Oh, you're in winter?
Yeah.
I don't know where you're at.
Yeah, I know. What's it called? So it's like 5 to 10 at night here.
Oh, it's okay. So 5 to 10 at night. Oh, 5 to 10. I was like 5
like,
p.m. to 10 p.m. It's in between there somewhere?
No, it's like 5 minutes to 10 o'clock at night. It's nearly 10 o'clock at night now.
Yeah, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Yeah. What's it called? But I'm trying to get, I mean, my vision would be that everybody would just have an acre of land, loads of fruit trees, loads of veg, loads of medicinal herbs, everything you need, so you don't need anything else. A clean cut water, you wouldn't, I mean, what else do you need apart from that? Apart from your family, your roof over your head, your food, your water, what do you need? Everything else is just fabricated materialism.
It's I don't know about over there, but the United States, the programming of capitalism being the only way, and a deep fear of socialism and a deep fear of communism that thinks of anything that serves all of the people is like bad, and then they start blaming all poor people, all lazy people or whatever, for all of the problems in the whole entire economy, which is exactly what the elite want, which is us blaming the poor people, the lazy people, or whatever. I was just having a conversation with my dad. I was saying I don't think that a sane society would have it so that you need to work in order to eat. Like you need to have a job in order to eat and have a roof over your head. I think that should be the norm. I think everybody should have a roof over their head and have food. That should be the basis of the society, and then from there come arts and entertainment and everything else out of that people can do for jobs, and people would just be doing what they love doing. Some people would love farming, and then they would sell their excess or whatever. But if everybody's making their own food and everybody's has what they need, the idea of survival and lack wouldn't exist. They're like, oh, well, that would just make a bunch of lazy people, blah, 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 blah. There's lazy people now, and for all the people that vehemently stand for capitalism, are they not realizing that capitalism has already failed? It's like the fans of the Raiders. It's like Ashley's mom is a fan of the Raiders, so it's like
grandma.
Yeah, it's like being a fan of the Raiders. It's just like, can't you see that it's the worst team? No, I'm just kidding. I think you froze. Greetings.
Can you still hear us?
Yep, I'm still here. I can't see you though.
Yeah, I can't see you either. Isn't it strange that when you start talking about these things, it starts going off? Isn't it strange? My point is when does any animal pay rent to stop on this planet? Apart from us.
Exactly.
You can't, why are we paying rent to play on why are we paying rent to stop on a planet that nobody owns?
Exactly. Like when you talk to people, okay, when I tell anybody that I think that that everybody should have a basic income, they act as if it's like they instantly go to like, oh, that's communism. That doesn't work. Blah 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 blah. Maybe it shouldn't be that everybody has a basic income, but maybe it should be that they don't have to pay for the things that they need to just live and survive. Like that should be a given. Like a house,
Yeah.
a place to live, and
Yeah. So your basic necessities would be food,
yeah, a place to live, food and water,
shelter,
medical
food,
care.
shelter. Yeah.
That should
why
be a
aren't
given.
These basic things met constantly?
Like obviously TV, like basic income wouldn't be like TV and Netflix and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
The society and the school, even the schooling, is founded on creating great people for capitalism, not great people for sustained
For life.
living.
Yeah, for life. I mean, I've often thought that. I mean, I look at things. If you look at the Earth from space, there is no countries. It's just the Earth the way it is. We've seen to have been divided into many sections, into religion sections, into race sections, into all these different sections. When really everyone's just human, living on a planet, and that's it. Apart from some people think they're up there and some people think they're down there. There's nobody better than me, and I'm no worse than anybody. And I'm just equal, same as everybody. And I won't treat anybody any different. It's the way I'll always be.
And like I don't know, I feel like people always have all sorts of questions. Like, okay, well, if everybody had a basic income, then who would do the dirty jobs and who would do this and that? People that want to help. What are you doing, foof? Sorry, she keeps walking in.
Is that the Raiders? Is that the Raiders fan?
Yeah, I know. I call her foof. But like people like well, who would do the dirty jobs? Or people tell me this: who would work at fast food places and stuff like that? I'm like, fast food places wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
They shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Fast food places are literally designed for capitalism.
Yeah. I mean, the majority of society around in England is like, well, not all of them, but there's quite a lot of, like, obviously drinking, taking drugs, going out on the night time. Celebrities are just kind of putting this thing in. To be honest, they're the most fakest people in the world. They're portrayed as being happy, but when they're sitting in the house, I bet they're not really happy. Do you know what I mean? They might have this and they might have that, but there's a lot of people who go out and earn everything, have all the money in the world, but they're still not happy and they don't know why. It's because they're missing these basic things that they've already got, that other people like already got. You want your family, you want food, you want water, you want love, and that's all you need. That's all you need. And people who've got that are the richest people in the world. You don't need all these extra things. It's just more attachments to material stuff that you don't need.
It's like it's similar to like a drug addiction where for a good period in the beginning of it, it feels as if it's adding to your life and it's making things better, and it feels you're going down a path that is spiraling upward and it's exciting. But then it gets to a point where you realize that there's a mechanism in you that keeps on going, even though you're not satisfied and you're not fulfilled anymore at all.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with money and materialism.
Yeah. I was on a course today when talking about American prisoners of war in Korean prison camps, and they were saying that they were taught to stand up in front of each other and talk about negativity, tell them everything that they've done bad in the world, and then to like sort of tell on each other and things like this, and just live in a negative world where it's constantly just all negativity. And I thought, well, isn't that society today? Are we not just bombarded by negativity constantly? So everybody's going to have a negative outlook. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. And it's actually going to get somewhat worse before it gets better.
Yeah, it has to. For people to wake up.
What's going to happen is it's going to get, there's going to be like a definite split, which has already started, but I feel like the split is weird. I was seeing things in the video. I mean, a definite split between those that are going to be deeply programmed into fear-based belief systems and following the media and following the false flag attacks that are going to be coming, and then there's going to be the people that have awakened and don't attach themselves to that anymore, and the difference will be profound. There will be people that will walk around completely robotic, controlled by God knows what frequencies they're putting out there. I was listening to it was a channel named Andronis. It's funny, I channel Andronis, but it was a different channeler that channels Andronis from Sirius, and he was saying that it will be the most robotic and the most unconscious humans have ever been on Earth will be in the next 3 years, for a portion of the collective. So as one portion becomes enlightened and becomes aware, there will be another portion, a fraction of the society that will become completely bound by egoic functioning and programming.
Yeah. Well, is that not polarity in yin yang?
Yeah, it's basically gonna, where like the whole world was kind of like a mix of a yin and yang. Now it's gonna be like a separation of yin and yang, like kind of like how a caterpillar when it goes from a
chrysalis
caterpillar to a butterfly, at one point both are inside. You have it's like the caterpillar and the butterfly are still like half they there, and then it goes through that struggle and eventually comes out as a butterfly.
Yeah, and you're just gonna go pop.
So our collective is going through that. What do you think about this September?
I mean, it was my birthday this month, so 35. But
when was your birthday?
17th.
The 17th?
September. Yeah, I'm 35. So I've got
happy birthday! Hey, you look good. I noticed you look different. You look good without the.
Getting there.
I like it. You look a lot different.
I seem to go through these periods of like every time there's a moon, I shave it off. And then for the next month it grows back and I get more mature and more experience and I shave it off and become young again. And then this every month sort of cycle. Cycles within cycles. Do you know what I mean? But if you're not conscious of this, then you're getting spiraled rather than going through a cycle, if you know what I mean. But this has been really intense, and I think it's going to get more intense, possibly. It's very heavy. It's very heavy and dense at the moment. And what I was saying about the animals before, up here where we're living, we're seeing a lot of bats, big spiders that we've never seen before, loads of things like that. And to me, the only things that is tuned to the magnetics of the planet is the animals. So if the magnetics of the planet moved, then surely all the animals would move with it. So you would start to see new insects, new birds, new bats, ones that you haven't seen before in your area, because the poles would shift and the animals would shift with it, wouldn't it?
Oh, sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. What I was reading this a couple years ago in a book. It was saying that new species, new minerals will be discovered because we're actually shifting to parallel Earths, and that in these Earths there'll be new species. So it could be what you're saying with the magnetics, which is possibly true, or it could just be we're shifting to new species of animals.
Yeah, I don't know if you found. I was doing a driving lesson the other day, and I was driving through certain bits, and it was like I was driving through real hot spots. I was going through like half a mile of absolute like really, really hot spots, and it wasn't just me that was feeling it, obviously driving stuff was feeling it as well. So I don't know if there's pillars of heat around the earth at the moment that just seem to thing up, and then when you drive through, you go, how warm's this? Do you know what I mean? It's going from this, like, you're all right, and then all of a sudden it's just really, really hot, and then you're all right again. And it's just, it's like, whoa, it's like hot spots all over the earth, and it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre, but it's just, hang on, hang on.
Yeah, so what do you think's going to happen on the 28th?
Whatever happens, happens. I'll adapt to whatever happens. If this happens or that happens, I think it's just try and be prepared for all. Don't have any preconceptions of what's going to happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it does. It doesn't. You know what I mean? So just adapt to whatever happens when it happens.
I hope all of this is building up to something.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But the way I just listened to a channeling by Metatron, and it was saying that the way it may be perceived, and she had clearly said that it'll be different for everyone, but she said that the ones that are very spiritually sensitive right now are already feeling it, because this was made yesterday, are already feeling it, and for those it'll be a lot easier during the transition. But those that haven't been feeling it, for them it might feel like a shock, like electric shock to the system.
Yeah.
But she was saying that some will, like those that are going to be meditating during it, like they might just notice like a heightening of all of their senses and their vision and the heightening of their connection to self. And then those that are like go to sleep and wake up, you may just notice that you wake up in what seems to be a different type of experience of reality, or like a different sensation. Like she said, everything will be solid, but it'll be as if it's like luminous solid. It'll seem very fluid.
Like quasi-physical.
Quasi-physical. Thing is, I already had this awakening. I know what it's like to literally, very quickly go from normal, everyday, mundane life to all of a sudden everything being quasi-physical and just like I'm walking through a sea of consciousness, and it was just like as obvious as plain day to me. So I've already had that experience. So it's like when people are like, "Oh, I don't believe anything will happen." It's like I don't have to believe it's happening. I know it's happening. I already know it's happening. I went 3 months of this year or so, 3 or 4 months of this year or so, in a completely different type of experience of life in my own body and everything. And then I came back down because all these energies are just really wild. Came back down to like my humanity.
Yeah, I mean, I went from a very, I played a lot of football, like soccer. I played a lot of football when I was growing up, and I was in a very male-dominated environment. And then I've seemed to have like switched from that and went very spiritual, and then I've come back into the middle sort of thing. So for me, it was very intense. It was like somebody just switched us on. Whereas my partner has kind of had certain skills since she was younger, and she's grew into it. For me, it was like, bang, we go. This is what it is. What's this? What's going on? And it was just so bizarre. How can you explain it? Like I said before, you're like, am I a prophet? Am I this? Am I some sort of religious dude? Or what is this? Do you know what I mean? What is it?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's just so bizarre that you
are you talking about what I said?
Your mind's trying to explain. So your mind can't explain what your heart's feeling. You can't interpret it in words because it's so intense, bizarre, and amazing in the same thing.
Yeah, I think my next video I'm gonna put out is gonna be about dealing with judgment as a sensitive soul, and how like what happens within you is like beautiful, where you have this. You can just go out, baby.
Yeah. Like a flower opener.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and you're excited, and you all of a sudden realize like I'm a light being, like I'm like not normal. This is crazy. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then so you start like sharing it, and other people see it as like, sure you are, you know what I mean? Like you think you're so special. You're not special. Like you're not no light being. Like, and the thing is, my brain does that too. Like when somebody posts like I'm a being of light, and I'm here to save the world from duality. In my head, I'm like, yeah, right, loser. Like. But when people start doing that to you and start judging you, like, yeah, right, you're not nothing, da 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 da, they're literally projecting what your own ego did to yourself when they first started happening. Your own judgments did the same thing, did it not?
Yeah.
Like,
But I'm saying what's happened in my house when I've woke up and I'm like, I'm onto this level where all this awareness is happening, and then as soon as I step out the door, it's like back into reality, and you're having this clash of like, hold on, I'm doing this where I'm meditating, I'm having these experiences, but then I've got to go back out into a world where they don't understand this, and you've got to try and, well, not act normal, but like kind of hold back so you can't like be the full you all the time, because if you said some of the things that you know for a fact that have happened, they would just call you crazy. But at the end of the day, it's happened, and if I was crazy, then surely I should be getting worse and more depressed. But I'm not getting depressed. I'm getting fitter. I'm getting more intelligent. I'm getting sharper. I'm getting more aware. You know, it's like I'm becoming the full version of what I should be. Do you know what I mean? It's like I've added memory and I've added this.
The way I described it was I turned into a walking quantum computer.
Yeah.
I was like a walking. It faded a little bit, but it was like I was like a walking Google database for the universe. It was just like somebody could like ask a question, and I can literally feel like the charge of energy come through my crown to give an answer, like
flame on.
Yeah, and then for me, it's like I woke up into a very, very suffering filled, sick body, and I noticed that when I started feeling all this joy and all this energy, I didn't believe it. I remember I would like cry in my car because I had so much energy coming in, and I was just like, what the, like,
is this?
You did, like, how did you do this? Like, because I remember I had asked the universe multiple times, like, hey, I want out. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, take me out. I want to go. And I would hope that I would get in a car accident when I was driving. I would just pray that a car would slam into me, because I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so, like, after, like, desperately praying to get me out, the universe got me out. Like, it got me out of all of my pain that I had and dropped it, and I had all this energy coming in. But then I noticed when I went to my job, it was as if I went from, like, heaven to, like, hell. Like, it was as if, like, just, like, everything about the job became, like you were saying, where everything started falling apart. Like, nothing made sense. Everything was clumsy, and I had no energy in my body. But then the second I left my job and did something that I was doing before, like with spirituality and doing stuff online, helping people, it was as if I was like the king of the universe. I had all of this energy flooded in my body. I wasn't sleepy. I wasn't tired. Go to work, and it was like I was completely dead, like a zombie.
Yeah, it's because you're doing things in line with your soul.
Yeah, and it was like,
as soon as you start doing that,
a vibrational match, and I couldn't do it anymore. I remember thinking, like, if I was forced to, it wasn't even that difficult of a job. But I was like, if I was forced to do this job every day, or I would die, like, I would probably just die. Like, I couldn't even do it anymore. Like, everything about it was like, it was as if the walls, like, you know, like the Operation game where you have to, like, and then it keeps zapping you. It was as if that was my job, like my job, which wasn't that difficult. It was as if everything was zapping me. The voices of the employees next to me was just like, I was just like, ugh. I couldn't talk to customers. They just were frustrating. Like, everything was frustrating. I couldn't do it. And so it's like, now I have to deal with people saying, like, oh, well, you just gotta suck it up and da-da-da-da. But luckily, though, I didn't have a lot of stuff to take care of, like kids at the time. Though I do have a child coming now, so...
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write a book.
2 kids and a wife and a fiance.
Dude, I couldn't imagine waking up like this in a complicated life, bro. Like,
yeah, it's intense. I mean, obviously, it's just keeping yourself to yourself, and that's what I was going through. I was keeping it in my head, and I was kind of like, well, don't want to kind of impression that on them, sort of thing, because it's not their fault that this has happened. It's nobody's fault that this has happened, but it's happened, and I have to deal with it, and I have to adapt. You know what I mean? And for me, I don't know about you, but obviously a lot of people seem to be asking a lot of questions about what's happening now. I've got people asking about heaven, which I never thought would happen. You know, they're asking questions about heaven, about what happens over here, what happens in the spirit world. And a year ago, I would never have believed that would have happened. I would have thought, you know, you're like, well, I never think that person would have been open to this or that person to that, but it's happening. And it might be happening at a certain rate, but people are waking up, and people are asking about heaven, people are asking about dimensions, and people are asking, and it's like, I don't know, it's just like you said, it's like a wave of everybody that's going over everybody. And to me, when you can, if you look at the light spectrum of what we know, with your eyes, you can only see 0.04 of the light spectrum. So that's 99.6% things around you that you can't see. And the same things go for your hearing. So you're telling me in that 99.6% things that we can't see,
they don't affect us at all. None.
No, I haven't had a bad experience. I'm saying I haven't had no bad experience yet.
Well, what I'm saying is we can't be so ignorant to think that they don't affect us somehow. You know what I mean? The other spectrum.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm saying to me, we're permeating like energy off us all the time. So if you had a higher vibration right next to you, you would certainly feel that. It would be like a radiant. Well, I'm saying I don't know if there's a what was it again? When you put two clocks on a wall and you put them out of time, eventually they come into line.
They do?
I don't know. Yeah. Put two grandfather clocks on the wall. Because of the rotation, because of the vibration and the thing, you can start them off things and they eventually come into line. So if you had a higher vibration next to you, you would start coming into line with that. In principle, in theory.
One thing that happens is somebody that's of a high vibration will bring out all the lower vibrations of another person. So like if somebody stands in your presence and they haven't dealt with their low vibrations, they will feel really uncomfortable, and they'll start feeling almost as if you're judging them, or they'll feel all of their insecurities come to the forefront, and they'll start blaming you for it.
Yes.
It's really weird, because like you're feeling so good and you're feeling all like alive, and then somebody next to you just starts attacking you, and you're like who are you?
Yeah. I'm saying but you're not even attacking them. You're just like talking through them. You're trying to help them at times, and you just go, well, look, if you just maybe switch this or switch that, it might help. But then they go, well, who are you to tell me? Well, I'm not really trying to. I'm just trying to help a little bit. I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm just saying this is my experience and this is what's happened to me. And I can see you're kind of in that similar position, so I'll just try and help you a bit, but you're taking it as if I'm attacking you.
Then their ego will take over and start attacking your life and all the things that they think is wrong with your life.
Yeah, totally, mate. Right, James, I'm going to have to shoot off because it's nearly 10:30, and I'm actually going to I don't know if you ever heard of Manchester United. It's a soccer team. It's a big soccer team over here, and I'm actually going over to see that to their stadium tomorrow. So I'll be up very early, and I'm taking my son there as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Going to a load of experiences now, loads of new experiences, and I think that's what life's about. Life's not about material things; it's about the next experience, and I think the next ones are going to be amazing. We might have to share a few things before we get there, but I'll tell you what it is, mate. It's intense, but it's worth it. Come on.
It is. I'm hoping that I'll get more energy in my body after the 28th.
Yeah. But I'm saying that it's test time. You have your 2 weeks of living your life, and then every 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks of fun, and then 2 weeks of test. 2 weeks of fun, 2 weeks of test. And you've tested on all these things. It wants you to react. They want you to kick off, and they want you to do this thing, but it's a test. If you get hit by a bus, if you get hit by water off a bus or something bad happens, smile at them. Keep your centre. You know what I mean? And just keep going, just keep smiling, keep the test come. Because once you come into that fun time, to me, that's when you get rewarded. And that's when all the experiences happen. You get all these good things where everything starts going right. But then make sure when you're going back into the next one that you're ready for it. Because it's going to be intense, it's going to be harsh, and it's going to be a test.
Yep.
But as long as you can keep yourself centered, as long as you're all right, and you know that everybody else is not judging you, there's people like me and you around, James, who like people who come and talk to us and will answer questions. We're nobody special. We're just people going through this experience together.
When the student's ready, the teacher will appear.
Oh, namaste.
Namaste. Take care, man.
Namaste. You too, mate. See you later.
Later.